Hey, fellow Riblets, I know this is pretty unscheduled, but someone was asking me if I was going to be going live today. So a couple people actually asked, so I figure I'll go live. Tomorrow I am not going live. However, I have too much going on. I have to work tomorrow, and then after that I have a doctor's appointment. So a lot going on during the day, and then there's other lives and stuff like that. So I figure I'd be on for a little bit. I actually have to leave to do a coaching call. So let's see. Hey Don, how you doing? So let's see how many people come on. Sandy, hello. Um, See how things go and everything like that. Uh, Papa Carnivore. Whoa, Keto Amy, Papa Carnivore. Hey, oh, this is exciting. I didn't even have to put a notice up. I just went up, and there you guys were. Wow, you guys are so good, so great. So so I had my one-on-one consultation with Dr. Nelson today, and he he is like top notch. He really is. He's a great guy. I actually see my primary doctor tomorrow, so he gave me a lot of um, great great advice that I'm going to take with me when I go to the doctors. Hey, Booby Biscuits, how you doing? Now, when you come on next week um, in August, Booby Biscuits, is that pretty much how I introduce you as Booby Biscuits? We got like very interesting people in this community. You are no exception, Gary. Tanya, how you doing? So is this a pretty good time for you, around 1 o'clock? Yeah, no time like the present. Anybody think that Gary should keep the name Booby Biscuits, or you think that he should go with the no slow? So you like his original name of no slow, Sandy? Oh, 12-hour day. Wow. I can't really do 12-hour days because I'd only be able to do one day and of working totally because I lose my benefits if I did that more than one day a week. Hello, Bacon Baby. How you doing? So Don thinks that you should just be Booby for short. LOL. Were you confused, Sandy? Hello, Granny Boo. How you doing? That is true. There is only one booby goat and one booby. But don't forget, Papa, Aaron gave him permission to use it. Oh, if that's true, I guess you're stuck. Hello, okay. So just to let you guys know, tomorrow I will not be doing any lives, but Friday I do plan on doing a live. At least I was look, hoping to do a live on Friday at around 12, a couple hours after my work schedule. You got a new diet there, Booby Biscuits? The Biscuits diet? I don't know if that would work for me or not. The sort of biscuits that got me into my mess. No Tata carnivore. Okay. Well, I'm interested to find out what it is. Hello, Terry. How you doing? The suspense, Gary. The suspense. Let me go on to my Instagram. Back to the page. The one person that was asking me if I was going live today isn't here right now. At least I don't think she is. So I figured I'd let her know that I did decide to go live. So, so one of the things that have been happening to me, but I've been having like some achiness, I guess you could say, um, is my sugars have been kind of high. So unfortunately, um, they've been doing this for a few days now, actually, even before the fasting and all that stuff. So not really sure what the cause is, but they temporarily do go down when I have the insulin, but now they're going back up again. They're they're at 147 right now and rising. So I'll probably have to take some insulin, but I'll wait. I don't know where Alexia is. She wasn't the one that was asking though if I was doing a live. So thank you for being there yesterday. I had a good time with Carrie. Uh, did anybody have any opinions or anything like that on how it went? And it did increase my subscriber count just a little bit, not as much as Rick had thought. But I didn't think that that was going to come to fruition anyway. I just was grateful that that's what was thought. Thank you, Papa. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I think it helps that Carrie's pretty good at that, at what was going on and stuff like that. So you know, he knows how to carry a conversation basically. So, but yeah, my count now is 411 subscribers. So it did increase a little bit, but that might be sort of my fault, Bacon Baby. The streaming um, doesn't doesn't allow that kind of thing. So the best I could do is copy the link for him, and whatever he does with that link is up to him. Yeah, I like them better when they're a little more casual too, Terry. I guess when they become too rigid, um, it's hard to follow. Yeah, I don't understand why you only have, because you're pretty good too, Amy. Thank you, Granny Boo. I'm sure Amy's on her third cup, right? Her third pot. I so far I've just had 2 cups of coffee today. Yes, I'm sure you will keep it very casually interesting. Of course, Amy, you deserve it. Not sure what I did, but of course. And you could do the same, Amy. When you make it big, you can shout me out. I mean, in my past, most of the women in my life would shut me up, not shout me out. But it was always first time for everything. Boom. um, okay, I'm not sure who said that. Probably a few people that said it, but Okay. I'm not really sure how to deal with that, Sandy. To tell you the truth. Yeah, it's weird. I actually probably crave the coffee more now since I've been carnivore um, than before. Like I always liked coffee, but I guess what it is I don't really drink the sodas anymore. I have seltzer and water, but every once in a while, and since coffee is sort of not encouraged, but is sort of allowed, um, or not demonized by most carnivores, uh, I guess that's why I go to coffee so much. And that's probably why a lot of us go to coffee because we got rid of the one thing, like most of us stop alcohol, most of us stop sodas, fruit juices, all this stuff. So now we don't have that stuff too. Um, Hello, Aunt B. How you doing? Thank you, Don. I appreciate that. But again, I contribute that to Carrie. Any of my interviews that I do, that seem to be doing pretty well. It's not just because of me. It's not even because of me. It's the guest. If they have a pretty good story, or at least have some energy of their story, then I think that carries on and people want to hear it. And the one thing that I think is going to happen is everybody's going to be like, well, what, the next person, oh, I want to hear about that person. And, it's sort of like what happens with Dave Mack, it just keeps on going and going. Yeah. Well, that's sort of what Coach Raymond says, Terry. He says that actually have your coffee after, like as dessert, right after the meal, because in that way you don't prevent yourself from eating enough, which I think is pretty true. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to do that mentally. I just whenever I can get the coffee and whenever I make the food. Lewis did ask us excellent questions. And you know what, Sandy? He actually told me that he had a lot of questions that he was going to be asking. So I already knew that they were going to be coming up. The only thing I wish is, and I got to figure out a way to do this, is I wish I was able to catch the question and then put it to the side. So then when all the questions are at, like when I, because, I sort of had to go back and forth, back and forth. And if we could do like kind of like like a bookmark of the questions, that might work out. It's a lot better. Yeah, it's always going to be a work in progress there, Terry. But from what I saw of you on Kilts, I think you're doing excellent. Um, Actually, that's not true, Peter. I've actually put bacon grease in my coffee too. I just don't do it all the time because I don't always have bacon grease. Because I've actually, since I've done the Lion diet, um, I've calmed down on making the making the bacon, and because he basically just eats the eggs and sausage. So there's really no bacon to cook. Now it'd be cool, and if they do have it already, maybe you guys can tell me in the chats. But if they actually made like if they actually sold, and I know they're kind of demonized, but just like how they sell ghee or tallow, like bacon grease, you know. But even if they did do that, they probably find some way of ruining it, um, if you know what I mean. 'Cause I do when I do have eggs, and I do it for him too. I do love bacon grease in with my eggs. I think it makes it nice. I think it actually increases the fluffiness of the eggs. I mean, you saw my video that I did where I made the fatty butter latte. Uh, the only problem is I do have a little bit of uh, an effect with the butter, so I think um, doing a whole stick of butter is a little was a little much. So I still have the butter with my burgers, and I got to go on the second I actually do some food shopping. So I have enough burgers. I'm nowhere near even dented the burgers. I had about so I have enough for one more month, definitely. So all my money is to go to um, is to go to my to like different other meats like steaks and stuff like that. So that should really work out. The only thing is I have to have enough for an Uber because I don't trust Walmart for delivery because they're going to triple charge. They're going to 1.5 times charge me. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I do agree with oh yeah, I do agree with Russell that if you're doing iced coffee though, putting bacon grease and butter in your coffee probably isn't really that much of a good idea because I had a lot of butter just with just a few teaspoons or a couple teaspoons, and the coffee got cold and it actually hardened back up again. So it was like this big congealed coffee mess of butter, which actually didn't end up being too bad because I love the taste of butter, but it just wasn't coffee. If that makes any sense. Like it was like the butter part of it was good, but the coffee part was like, you know. So I do like iced coffee, but I like the cold brew iced coffee, which they have at that diner. That's pretty much what I get at the diner. I haven't really gotten coffee too much at work because I only like that coffee with some cream in it, and they don't have heavy cream. So I tend to get. I mean, the only way I could really do heavy cream is if I was to buy it separately and then put it into my coffee separately. I guess I could do that. That would be pretty good. But they don't put it out because of it being costing so much and it would go too fast with most customers. So I'm thinking um, for my birthday. Let's go a little bit further. I actually would like to get. The only thing is though, at the regular supermarket, I'm having a hard time finding it. So I need to find where I can find it, where I can get it. But I'd like to get a tomahawk steak for my birthday, and then it's not for my birthday, for my 1 year anniversary, which will be 3 months later. Um, but I also think I'm going to try. I'm not really good at this kind of stuff. I can do my own version, but following ingredients is not really my forte. But I'd like to try because I like the idea of the crust being on the bottom, the carnivore crust. Bella's cheesecake. I know there's other cheesecakes out there, but I think she's the only one that actually has the carnivore only crust. So I'd like to try. I like to try that for my birthday as my birthday cake, so to speak. Hey Joanne T, how you doing? I'm not sure if I've ever seen you before. Maybe I don't know. My memory is so bad, Joanne, but if I haven't, welcome. And if I have, I do apologize on not fully recognizing the name. So, um, thank you. And I haven't had it yet, but I figure if any day would be a good day to break it out, would be the birthday or the anniversary or the carniversary. Not anniversary, carniversary. So Mitch is actually celebrating his 3 years in August, so that's pretty cool. 3 years. Like, what do you get for 3 year carnivore? What do you get for 1 year carnivore? Like, like with different anniversaries, there's different things. Like year one is actually paper, believe it or not. 25 is silver. Um, 50 is gold. I think 75 is platinum, or is it diamond? I don't know. But different years do different things, so you just have to find out. So, would we do the same thing for um, that we would do in a regular anniversary? Like for me, would it be paper? And for um, yeah, that's an interesting question. Well, maybe not interesting, but it's a still question. What do you get with the celebration of a 3rd year anniversary? Ah, so for Mitch, it would be leather. Okay. Okay, so it's just kind of like, now, do you only drink 1 cup, Peter, or it's hard for me to actually listen while I'm working. Most jobs wouldn't allow me to have my phone or any, you know, or be listening to anything while on the job. I can listen during break, but it's hard for me to actually listen whenever I work. I mean, I guess there were some times I could have snuck it in there though. Steak would have to be, but would it be a different kind of steak? Like, would year one be like a chuck roast, and year two would be New York strip? You know, so you can kind of like switch tabs basically, and just go back and forth, right? Is that what you're saying, Amy? Yeah, I don't have a computer job, so I can't really do that. Oh, actually, that's wrong. I do work with a register, and the register is computerized. I like that rule, Terry. Or how about this rule? How about this rule? Okay. Um, year one, you can have one steak, any kind of steak you want. It could be a huge 2 pound steak. It doesn't matter. It could be oh god, a tomahawk, anything. Okay. Second year, 2 steaks. Third year, 3 steaks. Fourth year, 4 steaks. On, so on. and so on until you burst with total bliss and total happiness. What about that? So it's not about what you're having, it's about how much you're able to have. How much is your celebration? Now, of course, you can have other things too. You can have the burgers, you can have the chicken, whatever. But that would be my. I've had a tomahawk steak. Um, my actual former boss actually, for a thank you, for helping to do such a good job during prom season, because I worked a lot of hours. I was working like 16 hours a day, 5 days a week. It was like, and even on the days I didn't work, didn't do the 16 hours, I worked like 4 or 5 hours during those days. So I worked a lot, and he paid me pretty well, gave me the bonus and everything like that. But as an extra thank you, he, me, actually 2 years in a row. The second year was with another employee, but he took me, his wife, and myself. He went out. His wife and myself all went to a place called Diamonds, in Pennington, New Jersey, and they had this. It was the first time I ever had a tomahawk. He's like, "Do you want that?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll try it." I had no idea what to expect, but believe me, I was very pleased. Um, Unfortunately, I ended up giving the bone to my sister's dog, and I did not know that cooked bones were, not good for the dog. I mean, the dog was fine. Um, she definitely didn't have any problems, but in retrospect, I kind of wish that I didn't give it to them because, um, but for my sake, it was really, really good, and I had done medium rare, so I probably could have had it rare, but you live and you learn, right? And took some of it home. Blah 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 blah. That's true, Gary. I just love meat. Doesn't really matter what. So I mean, I didn't really look in the chat yesterday, but Lewis did ask that one question that I asked again on Linus, lifestyle. What would you rather do? Would you rather give up steak for a year, or would you rather give up eggs for a lifetime? And I think most of you heard my answer, but I'm just curious. What would you guys do? The ones that are here in the chats. And that's a pretty good question that he asked. All right, let's put this while we're tabling that question. Still think about it and put it in the chats. Okay, so Amy says that she would do steak for a year. Um, I've never had fried duck skins. Okay, well, if you haven't had them yet, let us know how they are when I see you on Friday, and if you have had them, let us know now. Wow, 1,000 days. Should we play that song by I would walk 500 miles. That one. Yeah, I like that list, Feral Grandma. The only thing is, um, on the fillet, I would probably want to do more than just one because they do come pretty small. So Green Garmore says, steak for a year. I can compensate with roasts. There's no substitution for eggs. That's true. And ooh, that is a hard one, just because eggs are so versatile. But while I was on vacation, I missed having steak too, so I don't think I can answer this. Okay, fair enough. Now I'll repeat my answer. Okay, and this is how I look at it. Okay, forever is a long time, and but the thing is, a steak's not indicated to be for a long time. It's 1 year, and I think most of us are a little bit older. That as we get older, even more, 1 year goes pretty quickly. Like I can't believe how quickly the 6 months has gone. Um, since I started in January, it flies by, and I think with all like Cranky was just saying, like John was just saying, that there's so many things you can have around it. You might not be able to do lion, but you could do, if you did lion, you could do like mostly lamb. You could do, other meats other than steak. So I, I don't think I would miss the steak as much. You know, I mean, I love my steak. Don't get me wrong, but if I was to be told that I can't have something anymore, I think that that would be pretty problematic for me, and to be able and to totally give up something like that. Um, I mean, like, I don't know about you guys, but if I was to tell myself, literally, and let's think about this for 1 second. We do carnivore, and hey Carrie, how you doing? Kelly, I'm sorry, I keep on saying Carrie, Kelly, and I should know that because my niece's name is Kelly, so I always think of my niece, and there you are. Um, I think that we give up the foods that are bad for us, and that's okay. And we could do it for a long, long time. But it's almost like that, like when you're told you can't do something, you want to do it even more. So if you tell yourself that you're totally off of stuff, um, I think it becomes a little problematic. You're sort of like, like you become kind of rebellious against it. But if you know that you can always do, even if you don't want to, that it's your decision, your make, and to be like totally restricting the eggs and never to be able to go back to them, to me is a little problematic. So that's why I choose the steak for a year, because I know in 1 year I can have a nice juicy steak. Or the eggs, I'm now limited, I'm now forbidden, and I don't think I can. I don't think I could actually give up the eggs. Even though I don't eat eggs that much, I do eat eggs, but especially when I do line, I don't really eat eggs that much. Yes, picanha is a steak, and it's delish. I had it in Boston. I mean, if you haven't had it, oh my god, it is so good. Nice fat content. Nice. Um, I think it's my favorite, but it's hard to find here. So I'm so grateful. I might walk the 500 miles and go to Boston and have some more. That's a joke, by the way. I can't. I don't even. I have a hard time walking 5 miles. You had me walking 500 miles. And hello, fellow grandma. I don't know if I said hello to you already. Now, I'm going to put this out there for people because there is one thing that is concerning me. Not heavily. Okay, let me start off with the positive. I have many good guests, many great guests that I've had on my show and that I have in scheduled to be on my show. Problem, including you, Booby Biscuits. The problem is, okay, once that last person's done, and I have a lot of gaps too in between, like to fill in the times. Once that person's done, I have nobody else. And I'm not really sure how often I can do these kind of lives. I mean, let's face facts. It's the ones with the guests that seem to be doing a lot better for me. Um, so I'm willing to put in my chats right now, and Amy, I would love that. I'm going to put in the chats right now my email address. Okay, if anybody is interested, I will figure out a time. You tell me if that's a good day and time. I think I do have a couple of weeks in September that are still available, and because I just want to do them once a week for right now. If I end up getting so many, then I can increase that. Then that'll be a different story. But oh, Terry, you too. Okay, so I'm going to write this down for you guys, and if you so my email address is tpruitt40 at gmail.com. And when you email me, just say who you are, especially if your email address has nothing to do with your name or anything. Just say who you are, and I don't need to. You don't have to give me your story or anything like that because that's what that particular day is for. And then we'll set up a time, or week. I'm trying to do them on Tuesdays at around 2 o'clock my time is what I'm aiming for. But keep in mind that I will adjust during that week to a different day, and I could change the time. Like, I'll give you an example. Next week, this week coming up on the 29th, I have Lash on my channel, and he's able to do the Tuesday. However, his schedule does not allow him to do the 2 p.m. So we had to reschedule it for 5 p.m. for him. So that's why it's a little bit later. Um, Russ, which actually worked out, when he comes on, Russ Mitchell, he's coming on at 2 p.m., but he's coming on Saturday, which is also my birthday, which is why I thought that'd be a pretty good birthday gift for myself. But any one of you, I mean, I am actually over at the top with Terry and Amy actually making the offer. And I'll be honest with you, I'm actually reaching out to other people that just don't seem to be responding. So, so I do thank you guys for giving me some hope. You know, like I said, I think I have. Um, Let me check my. I still find this kind of weird. For some reason, okay, my phone removed. You know how you have the apps um, on your phone? Well, we all have, if you have Google on your phone, everybody has a Google Calendar. For some reason, my phone took that out. I still have it in the system, but I have to. Uh, I'm talking and I had it on Google Calendar. I just find that funny that I have to. Okay, so I'm going to go to September. And all right, so I have, um, I have the 2nd, the 9th, and I guess technically the 30th of September open. So if you guys could just tell me which of those days is best for you. Um, I mean, obviously, first come, first serve. If two of you choose the same day, I would just go to the second person and say, well, this person's actually choosing this day, you know, such and such. And thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. Um, and, we can just talk about different things. And, like I said, I usually give you the reign. You can take as much time as you want. I usually I usually set it for 2 hours, but obviously, like yesterday, it does go over. And I I like the one thing I do like about this stream is there's no, I mean, the time limit's like 6 hour time limit, so I don't think I'd ever go that far. Last time I checked, I don't have a black cat named Milton, so I don't think that that would be really a problem. So. So I don't know if anybody. I'm trying to actually, you know what? I'm trying to do some of them where I'm just talking, and I'd love to have you guys come on, but I want to make those live interviews even more important. Give people like a real you know, and I'd like to, um, obviously extend my hand to everybody, you know, um, but one person I'd like to have on here is I'd like to have Papa Carnivore on here. Um, you know, I want you to be able to tell your story. In like not just the elevator notes, but just you know to give you 2 hours to tell what you want to talk about. You and I'm trying to invite. Um, Rick wants to wait until I get more people in, but the thing is, there's two problems with that. One, um, if I don't get too many people in and he doesn't want to do, well, then that's not going to really help me. And two, uh, if I do get people in, there's a lot of people. So, you know, and I'm trying to get Milton in, but he won't. He's totally. Okay, so Pharaoh Grandma says, Tom, keep reaching out a bit. I would be surprised if you couldn't get Coach Stephen Barkay. Barkay. He's a delightful chap when he isn't playing a part of some of other smaller channel people. Okay. I really don't follow either one of them too much. I like them, don't get me wrong. I've watched a couple of lives with both of them. Um, but yeah, I'll be honest with you, Bart K kind of intimidates me a little bit. But I know he's a nice guy. I've heard a lot of great things about him. It's just he just has that very, I don't know, maybe it's just how he dresses and yeah, they are very smart people. I even quote Bart K a lot when somebody was asking, with the, when somebody was saying about how you're not fully carnivore because you have this or you have that, and I quoted him one time, hearing him say that if you're 70% carnivore, 70% eating meat, then and 30% doing whatever else, um, of more ketogenic, then you're technically carnivore. So I kind of agree with that, and it helps too. Like if you fall off the wagon, it helps a little bit. So yeah, um, I'm not sure. Usually how I do when I try to ask people is I will try to go. I'll try to um, watch one or two of their lives and put myself in the chats, so then they can. And then when I realize that they're a little bit more familiar with who I am, then it's not as much of a shock. The reason why Carrie wasn't a shock was because Carrie knew me. So, we send emails to each other a lot, more than you would think, and more than I would think. And so a lot of times those people are the easiest to get a hold of because we can kind of communicate. Um, I am trying to get a couple people that are connected to Carrie. Um, I'm trying to get Emma. I like to hear her perspective on things, and I love her energy. And I would also try to get Jen because I know Jen has struggled just like a lot of us have, and that is just as fascinating. That is just as intriguing to me, as inspiring to me, because the thing is that she's still doing it. It's just me. I have a lot of struggles too, but I'm still going strong. I'm still doing my best. That's all we can ever ask for each other. We're not perfect, and we all make mistakes. Um, Dave Mack is a pretty big influence. I mean, I made the comment, I guess, AKA joke, that in a way with Dave Mack and with Kerry too, I'm turning the tides on them because they interviewed me, and now I am interviewing them. And same thing goes with Adam Lacey. I mean, just to see if I have it in my system. Okay, so just to show off a little bit, um, I'm not going to say times or anything like that, but I'll say the one day. And then, so next week, we have Lash, Stephen Lashburn. I'm not sure what his last name actually is, but Lash, you know. Um, we have Lash. And then on the 5th, we have, we have No Slow, but I guess now his name is Booby Biscuit, so I don't know what his name will be during that time. And then on the 12th, I have Adam Lacey coming on. And then I have scheduled for the 20th because I've been trying to change it for the 19th, but he's unfortunately, I hope if he's here, I hope he gets the message. He can just email me. Um, oh, Kelly, I'd love to have you come on. Kelly, I won't have any openings in August, but I do have openings in September. So just email me and we'll come up with some dates and you tell me which one you'd rather do. All right. I mean, I actually have one for September 30th, which would be kind of the end of September, beginning of October, technically. So if that works for you, that works for me. Which would be usually I would do it 2 p.m. my time. So you just let me know. And again, my address is tpruitt, Pruett 40 at gmail.com. So I have, so on the 20th, I have Tim from Walker to Walking. Um, somebody that used to be on SVG, and I'm sorry that I don't see him anymore there. But you know, and then on the 26th we have our friend Caleb. Um, in September, right now, I have scheduled two people. I have Russ on my birthday on the 20th, and I have Dave Mack on the 23rd, and then that will be it. Once that's done, so I'm hoping to get more people, and I'm glad that you guys are responding. So I would love to get from. All right, so I'm not sure what that $100 for groceries. Okay, so um, all right, so I'm gonna probably have to end this soon. Um, I just got so yeah, just email me your two reasons why I need to email. One, because it's easier for us to talk back and forth because it's a platform to talk back and forth. And not only that, when I have the link ready, I can send it to you, which is usually going. I'm going to try to do it like at least no more than a week before, no less than a couple days. But um, I can send a link, and usually what I'll do is I'll make a folder. So any conversations we have between each other, I can save in that folder, and I can file it in a nice particular file in my email. So it just makes it easier to be organized, so to speak. So yeah, so just email me that at the email. If you didn't write down the email here, I will put it in again. And I'm going to put down if interested. The targeted guest. All right. And actually, let me just check something out real quick. I'm going to go to my live right now. And I don't know why I didn't think about doing this before. Might be a little background noise, so I apologize. And I just realized I'm doing the clicking, so I'm sure you guys are hearing that as well. All right, so we're going to actually pin this message to the top. So anybody that is interested, copy that email down, and so we can talk back and forth. All right. So that'd be, so as you can see, Kelly, I have, I have for every week in August, I am pretty filled up, unless somebody cancels or something like that. But so September is probably a lot safer for me anyway. And thank you for that, Feral Grandma. That's pretty good advice. Yeah, the people I've asked so far is I asked. I think what it is you know it it's great that like a lot of people are like, yeah, I'd love to be on your show, but then that was it. You know, like there's no communication after that. Um, so I'm not sure what that actually means. To tell you the truth, I but I have asked Lynn Devaki. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Yeah, Midlife Carnivore, and I figure I want to have her on because she's part of the Healing Humanity, and not only that, but she's a pretty nice lady. We've talked before. I'd like to have Renee um, learning how to walk. Um, if I get your name wrong, I do apologize. It's so many of us that you know. Uh, I wouldn't mind having everybody. I wouldn't mind having, the four ladies that were on Lioness Lifestyle yesterday. I'd love to have No Carb Barb. I'd love to have Ellie, um, Nourishment Reacted, um, Adrian, and Christy. I'd love to have all of them on. Um, there's really, Hello, JJ Cooper. I'm having a wonderful day. Not as good as yesterday, but I'm having a wonderful day. Uh, Thank you for coming and welcome. So I'm going to have to end this live very soon. I hope that those of you who have come on last minute, I hope you don't take that as a disappointment. I am super glad that you are here. Again, um, take the email, all right, and just email me just with a little bit of who you are, like especially if your email address is different than what your normal thing is, and like say, hey, this is Lori, or this is Amy, or such and such, and then and then and say which when in September of either those days that I mentioned. If not, we'll just email me first, and then I'll email you back with the days of availability, and we'll just go back and forth. That would work too. All right. I look forward to seeing most of you guys, and if you have anybody that you know that you think would be good on my show, um, shoot them, as well. Um, I mean, there's a lot of connections out there, and the invite goes for anybody. Um, I mean, like, look at Carrie Mann. He has like a few people that I wouldn't mind interviewing. And I don't like to think of big and small. I mean, yeah, there are some people that are out there that are like pretty intimidating, but we all have a story, and I'm just here to listen to the story and to give some kind of outcome. Now, I do want to improve my channel in the way where I can get people to be able to broadcast it onto their channel as well. Right now, all I can do is copy the link after it's done, and then they can do whatever they want. And Kerry might do some creative things with the link that I sent him. Um, but that's pretty much what I'm doing. Uh, you know, and everything. So I know this is kind of cut short. So I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to. Hello, Susan. I will be here again on Friday, probably at around 12 o'clock after work, and I'll tell you what happened with the doctors. Most likely, they're going to argue with me about doing a statin again. Doesn't matter how I'm not going to be taking a statin, so it doesn't matter. But it's entertainment nonetheless, right? All right, so um, live, love, heal. And people, I think we all know that this is the answer. Eat, eat.